Alright, we should be live. Hey, what's up everyone? How y'all doing? Happy Wednesday. I got quite a bit of people in chat right now, so let's take a look at the chat highlights, of course. Craig Lilly, by the way. Craig, I think I've already talked about this, but you're going on 15 months of membership, and you are the first person to join the channel memberships when it went live, so I appreciate that. There's 15 months going now. Chris was here. I know usually this is the time where Chris gets off of work, maybe driving home, so I don't know if he's still here right now, but Chris was with the second comment. What's up, Chris? Stock, we got Raymond in the house, Stang 2007, Michael Livote, sorry if I butchered people's names. I'm trying, okay? What's up, Nemus Tech? Nemus Tech, I'd rather get a 2080 Super for 250, or they're talking about what we're gonna be talking about in this stream. Intel Arc 750 and the price reduction, as you can see from the title and the thumbnail, but we'll get into that later. Shane Eslick, as always, good day, Shane. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Citrus, bragging that they have a Costco, Micro Center, and Sam's Club in like a 20-mile radius, which is very nice. I don't know, is there Sam's Club in Washington still? Let me look this up. But yeah, we definitely don't have Micro Center, so we have a Costco very close by. Alright, let me look at the map of Washington. Sam's Club permanently closed. Sam's Club permanently closed. Did they all permanently close in Washington? They might have. All the Sam's Clubs that I'm seeing in Washington has permanently closed on Google Maps. So, yeah. Citrus, you lucky dog. Seth Raider, what's up? What's up? Jason Whitmer in the house. Jason has a new video, by the way. Go check out his video if y'all haven't seen it yet. It's about used graphics cards. It actually tells you not to buy a new graphics card, which is what we're going to be talking about today, because I don't think... Maybe we'll take a look. Can we find used Intel Arc cards in, like, OfferUp and stuff like that? I haven't looked. If we can, I doubt there'll be that much of a price reduction, given how new they are. What's up, Extreme Zone? We got Scooter U in the house, who did submit something for the stream links, so. Frogs there says, heck yeah, let's see those prices get low. Get low, just like that Lil Jon song. Don't forget to thumbs up the stream. Yes, that is free, and I'm not sure if it actually helps out. Maybe it does help with discoverability for some new tech. Though I am for being a tech content creator, I feel like I do not try to stay like super updated with my own personal rig with tech anyways. Like, I don't have a 13th gen Intel processor, nor do I have a RTX 4000 or AMD 7000 series card. So if I got money, I would not be putting it towards new tech for my own personal rig. It would be for other stuff for the channel. What's up, Brian? Sutmig says, I'm confused and my internet searches have me more confused. So estimate on a power supply calculator says my PC draws 650 to 700 watt. Is 850 enough? Okay, so the interesting thing about this, Sutmig, is do you have like a RTX 4090 or like a 4080 or something like that? For a system to draw 650 to 700 watts, that's a very powerful system. Like, yeah, so let us know what your specs are, because I don't know if your system will actually be pulling that much. You have a 3060. Okay, yeah. First of all, 850 watts is more than enough for a 3060 and 13700K. You could probably get by with like a 6 to 700 watt pretty easily. Just make sure you get like a quality power supply. Dude, 850, if anything, is overkill And for the most part, it's gonna be the graphics card that's gonna be the issue in most computers regarding power draw. 13700K. What was the max power draw? Let's see, 13700K max power draw. It peaks over 200, but for the most part, it's looking like on average tests compare on Tech Power Up, it like never goes above 150 average. So yeah, it's you should be fine. Yeah, Coalition Gaming Chris has done two 5900X systems with the 750 watt, one with the 3080 and the other with the 6800XT. Yeah, the thing is, yeah, which power supply calculator did you use, by the way, Meg? I'm very curious because for it to recommend an 850, I don't even think PCpartpicker would do that. PCpartpicker, from what I've seen, is usually pretty good about the estimator. So, let's see. So, let me really quickly bring up the membership shout out, just because that was updated. Chat box. Okay, transition. Yeah, so big shout out to the channel members who either got gifted or some of the super gifters up here who be gifting a ton. But we did get some membership drop off just because, you know, at the end of the month, people who got gifted it don't remember. So we do have the names slightly bigger here. So we do have the finally Nerd on a Big Budget names. They're more legible because some of the names dropped off and I was able to increase the size. But overall, we have like 160 something members, and that's pretty much the average monthly. So huge appreciation to anyone who is a channel member, you know, supporting the channel, getting fun little emotes to leave in terms of comments, as well as on these streams. For the people who missed it, the 3 newest icons, I'm putting it in chat right now, are these little tiny faces. Dr. Lisa Su, Jensen Huang, and myself. We are a small, happy family here. But yeah. Outer Vision power supply calculator. Yeah, I would say, so someone recommended the Be Quiet one earlier. Check that one out, and actually, let's see if we can do that right now. We will start that off. We will start the stream off with that. So Be Quiet. So let me do this real quick. So Be Quiet power supply estimator or calculator. So let's do this. Yeah. So let's select Intel. Let's do your exact one. So 1700 socket, 13700. You said 13700K. Boom, right there. Yeah, let's just do heavily overclocked just to be conservative. It's always good to be conservative just to give yourself a little more like headroom. But let's just let's see, SATA. Yeah, we're just gonna randomly do 4 RAM, 2 M.2 SSDs. We're gonna max this thing out with like 8 fans. Water cooling, we're gonna do 2 pumps, 6 fans. So it's like you got 2 different AIOs with 2 different 360 AIOs or something. And then we're gonna do an NVIDIA. So you had a 3060. So let's put a 3060 because we're actually gonna put your specs, and for all the other random stuff we're gonna be conservative about. Heavily overclocked too. USB 3.2 Gen 2 for power transmission. No. So let's calculate. Be Quiet. Be Quiet is also recommending 850 watts, huh? So this is actually, for me, pretty surprising. What is using all of that power? It's saying it's loading it up to 96%, which is pretty much almost full load. Okay, something's up here. There's no way all those extra, like, SATA and stuff added all of that to it. So I'm gonna edit to not say overclocked and see how much that changes the answer. So not overclocking it, it's saying that you would be good with you would be good with the 750, but you would be using up 91% of like the rated wattage. Okay. Hey, what's up, Angel? It is going well. How are you doing? You only have a slight overclock for GPU. Yeah. So okay, we're gonna do a quick test with PCpartpicker as well, because this, even the Be Quiet one, now that I'm looking at it, it seems very conservative. Let me edit this configuration. Yeah, what if we just decrease all of this? So that's still 4. This is all still very fine. I wonder if it's these AIO pumps. So we'll do 6 fans, 1 pump times 3 fans. That seems more reasonable. So let me calculate this again. Now we're down to 83, 750 watt. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try different ones here. We're gonna go to the PC builder and really quickly try to fill this out. We'll add that in there. We're gonna choose an 360 AIO. Sure. Motherboard Z690 something. Sure. Estimates 3. We're at 338 now. I'm gonna select the video card. So we're gonna choose a 3060. We're gonna choose let's not choose a Founders Edition. We'll choose the Gigabyte Gaming OC. Estimated wattage is 538. Okay, and then we'll do the memory 4 times. So this is 4x8. So we'll add that. We're at 567 watts. So PCpartpicker, I'm gonna choose the storage as well. Let's see. Let's do a 2 terabyte drive, just a Samsung drive. We're at 577. So, so we got the video card, power supply. What else would? So memory. Yeah, we have everything except for the case. I'm not sure. And let's just do the 4000D airflow. That doesn't change the estimated wattage at all. So the Be Quiet system, when I took down like the overclocks and took out all the extra pumps and stuff, it's actually showing 621, yeah, about 621 watts. And then this one is 577. So they're pretty close. So in the configurators, I think 850 is still really like a huge overestimate. But if you use, I would say use PCpartpicker, and then maybe add like 25 to 50 watts if you do want some headroom. But you don't need an 850 watt unit for your specs, for sure. Oh yeah, fans. Good point, Shane. 577. Let's add 6 fans in here real quick. Where's case fans? We're gonna do some Corsair IQs. 592. We're gonna add 2 of these to it, and this again is gonna have RGB, and it's gonna have both, not only RGB but the actual fan connector itself. So this should be like pretty representative of like the worst case scenario fans you can put in here. So we got 607 with the 6 pack of fans with the AIO, which already has RGB fans, and 607 versus 621. So they're actually very close, within 14 watts of each other. Still very far from the 850 watts from the other calculator that was used. So you could use the third calculator if you want, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say you would be safe with the 7 to 750 watt power supply. I guarantee if we plug your system into a wall though, using a one of those kilowatt meters, we would even get a lower number. This takes into account like worst case scenarios. This should take into account like if there's any spiking going on in your system, whether it be from the CPU or GPU. So I have 9 fans and the pump. Yeah, you're right. Well, I have 1 pump and 3 fans. No, I updated it. This is good to see though. These two being very close to each other. That's a good exercise. Oh, got it. So yeah, you already have the 850 watts, so you're good, and you'll be good for like if you update your graphics card to anything stronger than your 3060. So okay, let's go back to here. Yeah, so that's why you use it. So I'm not gonna do it now because I need a system ready to go, but I'm going to use these calculators on the next build I do, as well as measure the power from the wall, and we'll see what the difference is. Because measuring it from the wall, it's supposed to be a higher number because you take like you lose 10, anywhere from 10 to 15 to even 20% depending on how efficient your power supply is. So your highest number should be recorded from the wall, and then once it gets to the system, due to like the losses in efficiency, should be the actual amount of power your system uses. I still think the calculators, they err on the more conservative side because they don't want to recommend you something that's very close to the basically on the cusp of what you need. So there's definitely got to be some conservatism built into these. Bakata, what's up, King? What's up? How you doing? Yeah. Let's look at an efficiency curve real quick, or like a typical, let's see, Corsair RMX efficiency curve. So we look at some of these real quick. So the RMX is Corsair's really. Let's see, do they have a titanium? Let's look at like the really high-end power supplies. So they don't. Here's their Corsair's 1000 watt. Can we get a bigger picture of this? So this is from the RMX. Which model is this though? Okay, so these are gold certified units. Okay, so for this, for example, if we look here, if you were running your power supply, and when you look at these curves, you definitely have to look at the y-axis because this is very misleading. So this is the efficiency curve for the RMX 1000X, which is a gold rated power supply. And if we can get a reminder of the efficiency, gold rated means that at these different loads, they have to meet a minimum. If I can get a better zoom in on this, they have to meet the minimum of this efficiency rating, right? So at 50% needs to be 90, but as you go towards 100 or lower, you can be at 87% or higher efficiency. Now, here's for the RMX 1000X, which is gold rated. Even if you're running this at its very maximum 1000 watt, and this is from Tech Power Up, so I trust them as a source. If you're running it at the max 1000 watts, it is still going to be 90% efficient. You see, this curve makes it look like down here, even when you're running at 0 watts, this is still 78% right here. So anything above this line right here, or I guess anything above this line down here, is 80% or more efficiency. So for a unit like this, whether you're running at 0% load or the max 100% load, which is 1000 watts, you're for the most part gonna be in like a really good efficiency range. So just something to note. But Chris, you do bring up a good point. I think the peak efficiency, which is 93%, is at 40% for this power supply. Every unit's gonna have a different curve slightly, but they for the most part look similar to this, where your peak efficiency range is gonna be somewhere in the middle, like closer to 50%. Hey, what's up, Ryan? How you doing? Death Tech in the house, everybody. Okay, so this was a quick power supply question, which was asked by one of the people in the chat. Now, let's take a look at Intel Arc 750, which I did have, I have the Tom's article pulled up. So let's go over this real quick. So this was just news today. This was published 10 hours ago. There was an embargo. I was actually a part of there was like a pre-briefing thing that Intel invited me to, that I actually went to late due to a medical appointment. But their big announcement was driver updates as well as a price cut to the Arc A750, which I feel like not many people, myself included, cared too much about the A750 because it wasn't the most powerful of the two, or I guess three if you include the 8GB versus 16GB SKUs of Intel cards that were released back in October. Most people cared about the A770 because it was the more powerful of the two cards. This one actually MSRP'd when it came out at $289. So they took a $40 price cut, bringing it down to $250 effectively. And looking at this, I think this price is a lot more competitive. And the reason I say this is because I don't think a lot of people actually know the A750 doesn't fall too far behind the A770 in regards to performance. I did pull up two benchmarking videos, which keep in mind the A7 or this is the Intel Arc cards, both A770 and A750. They have been maturing the drivers ever since they released. So the two videos that I brought up just to show you, general performance. This is what, 2 months ago, so this was before the latest driver updates. But we take a look at these two side by side. What game do we have here? Forza Horizon 5. So what you're looking at, wait, I didn't want to show you this one first. I wanted to show you this one. So this one right here has the A770, RTX 3070, and the A750. So they're playing at 1440p, and you can kind of see the results side by side. So here we're looking at average FPS is 65 versus 61. So we're talking about less than a 10% difference between the A750 and the A770. Of course, they lose to the 3070, but just look at the far right and the far left. This is with, okay, no, I don't care about ray tracing, to be honest. What other games do we get? Like Watch Dogs Legion. You were looking at the far right, and we're looking at the left. Look how close the results are. We're looking at the A770, and the A750. You see the results right here and here. They're not that different. So to put that into perspective, you're getting a card that's like within 10-ish%. And here's Watch Dogs again. Here's Microsoft Flight Simulator. I mean, if you're looking at the actual FPS difference between these two, we're looking at like 51, 52 to 55. Like that's 3 to 4 FPS difference. Percentage wise, it is bigger, but it's still within about 10%. So keep that in your mind. Similar, pretty close to A770 performance for $250. Now, I'm very curious to probe you all. Do you think this is a competitive price? Now, to put it in perspective, that's why I brought this video up. One of the more popular cards that we have seen recently, right, is the RX, both 6600 and 6650 and 6600 XTs. So here's another video. Again, the performance should be better on the A750 after these newest round of drivers. But we look at these two. So here's for Forza Horizon. I think they put the average near the end. So we're looking at like 116 FPS here versus 131. So the A750 still loses to the 6600 XT. Not by that much though. And it is noticeably cheaper because... Let's go to Newegg real quick. Have y'all been following graphics card prices? Like the 6600 XT. What is the lowest this one goes for? So this goes for $270. And then let's look at how much the RX 6600 goes for. The cheapest one is gonna be $240. Remember when these were like $190? Remember when the RX 6600s were $190, $200 consistently? Everything has gone up in price in like the last, 4 months or so? Back around Black Friday, even before that, we saw really good prices, like the last quarter of 2022. But ever since then, there has been a general shift upwards especially in this quote-unquote mid-range graphics card segment. So right now there's a limited code here, but when this limited code goes away, you are looking at a $240 RX 6600. So now you're looking at $240 6600 or a $250 A750. So now the narrative changes a little bit, right? Where AMD cards, remember when I did my video using the A770 Intel's card, I said AMD, there's no point in this card kind of, because Intel cards are still new. You know, you could have buggy driver issues, software issues, and AMD gives more performance per dollar. But right now in early 2023, that's not the case. This Arc card at $250 slots itself very nicely between the RX 6600 and the RX 6600 or 6650 XTs. The driver, so KL130 says the driver support needs to get better though. Yeah, so they are working on it still. Like I think one of the biggest games is CS:GO, which let's see if I have the results here. Is there a CS:GO in here at all? I could have sworn one of these had CS:GO. Watch Dogs. Was it not on here? One of these videos had the performance. Oh, here it is. Okay, so let's look at the performance difference here. So we've got the Arc A750 on the very left. Now we look here. Where's the averages? You can already see by the FPS. I'm just gonna pause it right here. We've got 192 for the A750. RTX 3060 at almost 500 FPS, and then the RX 6600 XT at 400 FPS. So this is like coming in at like 50% of the performance, which I think the latest round of drivers, I think because CS:GO is a DX9 title, it fixes this. I haven't seen the numbers yet, but that's what Intel is supposedly reporting. So issues like this with some of the older titles, they are slowly addressing them. We don't really see this big of a drastic difference in the newer titles, but again, I think there's always a disclaimer when recommending an Intel Arc card, right? Are you okay with supporting a company's first attempt back at you know, breaking into the consumer gaming desktop graphics card market? And two, are you okay with troubleshooting your own problems should anything arise? I think AMD is still the safe recommendation for the majority of people, especially newer PC gamers, but I think Intel is making the right moves and going in the right direction, especially with price drops like this. I wish we would have heard about A770 price drops, because if we look on Newegg, the Intel A770, the cheapest one is still... Oh, it's $320, but they didn't announce it. This is just it's the 8GB model, which some people don't really like, and but like the other ones are still $350 plus, which kind of hasn't moved since it was launched. But yeah, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this. This is, well, what do you mean by third attempt? What was your first and second attempt? Are you talking about like in the past, or are you talking about, are you counting the A380? Okay, and we're gonna run a poll because I'm just curious what people have to say. Do you think the A750 is worth it at $250? Yeah. So we're gonna do a black and white yes and no. No in between answers. Do you think it is worth it at $250? The A750. Yeah, Mr. 7 Digits. So I'm not counting all the stuff a long time ago because they've been out of the game. And I think what they're doing now, I guess I'm counting consecutive tries at it, which they haven't had anything leading up to this, unless you count the A380 as like a separate attempt. But that one wasn't really for marketed towards gamers. So Cammy Hudson says, I have the A770 16GB version and like it with the new drivers. Cammy, what games do you play by chance? I'm just curious. I think a lot of the times, so if you have like specific games that you are obsessed about or play like 24/7, you definitely should do research as to how certain brands of cards perform for it, because there is definitely a bias. Even looking at some of these results, you'll see that there are some games that heavily favor AMD, some that heavily favor the NVIDIA cards, and then let me see a Flight Simulator. Which was it? One of these games actually favored the Intel Arc card. Yeah, like this one, Far Cry 6. Here's Far Cry 6 beating out both the RTX, the A750 beating out the 3060 and 6600 XT. So it definitely do your research if you are in the market for a card. If you play a very specific game, or games from specific companies like Ubisoft, usually tends to lean towards AMD, which is why we see 76 average FPS here compared to well, I guess the 6600 XT always beat the 3060 anyways, but yeah, Ubisoft games are AMD slanted from what I've seen. KL130 still voted yes, especially if they stay on track when making things better. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see with their next release. We do have 2/3 of the votes coming in saying that people do think the A750 is worth $250. And I think it's mostly because, let's take a look at RTX 3060 prices. RTX 3060, again, do keep in mind we are not factoring in the used market here, because once you start looking at the used market, Intel has a disadvantage when it comes to price to performance, just because their cards are newer, and that means not as many people bought the cards and have gotten to a point where they might sell it on eBay, OfferUp, or anything like that. Whereas NVIDIA and AMD has a huge head start in the used market because their cards have been out for like 2-ish years now, right? So it's always important to make that distinction, because I know a lot of people are going to say it's not worth it at $250, given that you can get something better in the used market or from a previous generation. But that's just not apples to apples comparison. I know that used cards or previous gen cards are going to be better value, but they're also not new. So yeah. Looking at the RTX 3060 prices, the lowest one refurbished, of course. The only one that is even close to $250 is a refurbished card. But if we look at new only, let's take a look here. The newest RTX 3060 is, what is this card right here? Oh, this is the I think we saw this on a stream a few weeks back. This is a mobile 3060, so we're not gonna compare this one because it's not the same. Yeah, see, the cheapest is the Zotac card for $330. So AMD is still cheaper, but now Intel, I think, is more competitive. Frog Slayer says the 16GB A770 is going to age very nicely. I don't doubt that, especially if Intel keeps on working on like maturing the drivers, and if any of the other like developers patch their games to support like the Intel cards, then yeah, I could see this happening. I kind of wish though there was Lennon with the $5 super chat. Thank you for the super chat. But yeah, I kind of wish that the A770 took a price reduction too, maybe to like $300, you know? Extreme Zone 987 says, yes, the Intel is worth it at 250. We need more low to mid-range GPUs. Exactly. Like, again, that's why I made the other video with the RX 580. What graphics card, if someone has under $200 right now, what do they get? What graphics card? Let's take a look at Newegg, actually. Desktop graphics cards. Computer, components and storage. Graphics cards. Come on. Oh, video cards. Okay. So we are going to... We're going to say anywhere from $100 to $200 on Newegg. It must be new. And we're going to apply these filters. And we're going to sort by lowest price. So you can get a GT 1030 for $100. Great. Okay, a bunch of GT 1030s, GTX 950s. Apparently some of these companies are still selling them. This looks like similar to the Aorus video I did. Where look at this cooler. This looks like a fake graphics card almost. Yeah, Matthew says go use under 200 for sure. But again, for the people who don't want to use, let's take a look to see what the offerings are. GTX 750 Ti. Like some of these companies, I wonder if they ever sell these. Look at these generic looking coolers. But we got a 750 Ti for $140. Like a GTX 1060 for $134. I mean, we're talking about what year did the 1060 come out? 2016? We're talking about like 6 to 7 year old graphics cards here. Going for still like close to $150. So as we still scroll down trying to find a reasonable card between the $100 to $200 price range, we're only met with like 6-year-old parts. So we still have 1050 Ti's for $170. GTX 970, that's not a good deal at all. You just buy the used market at that point. But yeah. So then we start getting into cards like the 1660 Ti, 1660 Super, which are very capable 1080p cards, but they shouldn't be priced this high given how old they are. And then you start getting to the 6500 XT finally, which is still $200. Wow. Was there no other? Kale 130 just upgraded from a 750 Ti. Did you sell that 750 Ti by chance, Kale? Or did you end up keeping it as a backup or a souvenir? Yeah, the RX 5500 XT. Let's see what we got here. You can find those for as cheap as $170. Which even these... I mean, these are like what? RX 590 performance range. So I think performance per dollar, there's not much competition, making this not a horrible deal. But still, there needs to be options in the latest generation or even last gen, like that fall within this range that doesn't have like stuff cut from it. Hugo got a 1660 for $100. Was that a good deal? I'd say that's actually a pretty good price for those 1660s because they're Nvidia. Still are going for quite a bit. Let's just see. I haven't usually when I look up 1660s, it's usually supers or TIs, but just plain 1660s, non-super, non-TIs. It looks like they're going. Oh, apparently they're a lot. No, those are all parts only. Be very careful. We got a lot of parts only people up in here. So let's look at used. So non-part still. Why is this still coming up for parts only when I put used? eBay has changed their filtering. What the heck? It used to be new, used, refurbished, open box, parts only. What? Can I not take that out? Why? What? eBay, you're killing me here. 4 parts, 1660. So it looks like we can find single fan 1660s. Yeah, see, here's a parts only. Is this even good? Tested, working. So it looks like these are going for 110 after shipping on eBay. So for $100, if you don't have to pay tax or you bought it locally, that seems like a pretty decent deal. Select computer graphics cards. Okay, I'm gonna follow what Chris is suggesting. So computer graphics cards. Okay, so we have graphics cards. And then can I? Oh, okay. Good call, Chris. I've never done that before. I usually just type in the graphics card I need, sort it, and then this option over here used to just show up automatically. But now, apparently you have to, let's see. Let me, look, I'm going to put in used. Let me make sure there's no, okay. Yeah, so we don't have any more, for parts only. So the cheapest one right now is $110 right here. So yeah, I mean, you got one that was priced accordingly, I would say, for $100. Arflet says, I did a pretty big upgrade today. I replaced the Red Baron frozen pizza box I had. Wait, the Legion 5 one with the new Foster Farms Jumbo frozen corn dog box. I need pictures of this. Arflet, are you in the Discord? Send some pictures of this Red Baron pizza box that you had the Legion 5 on. So you're using like frozen meal boxes to prop up your laptop. Alright, so I'm gonna end the poll. So a lot of people do think the A750 is worth the lower price drop. Now I'm actually pretty curious. I don't have an A750. I only have the A770 from the build that I did. But I'll see if I can get my hands on an A750 and play with that as well. Because I think now that it has the lower price, it's gonna get. It used to be that the A770 got more of the spotlight, that people cared about it and talked about it more. I think with this price drop now, this, if the A770 doesn't also get a price drop, this might take the spotlight, to be honest. Max says, there's no buyer protection if it dies a month after you bought it. I don't think that's correct, actually. Let's take a look here. So, eBay buyer protection. How does eBay buyer protection work? Let's see if we can tone it down to graphics card. Okay, nope. Looks like we have to do the general. How does eBay buyer protection work? Open a case, escalate to eBay. Okay, where is the time? Resolution center. When can I open a case? Refund. Step-by-step guide to buyer protection. I remember it used to be like 6 months. I just needed to see if it's still the same. Report an item that hasn't arrived. Okay, so you have 30 calendar days if something hasn't arrived, but that's not what we're talking about. Where's like the lemon policy? Could have sworn it was like 6 months. See if I can search for it. eBay buyer protection 6 months. Because that's what I last remember. Oh yeah. Okay, where's the super chat? I totally missed it. Because we are okay. Okay, sorry. Let's answer the super chat. Lennon, I didn't totally forget about it. I remembered it. It just took me a bit because we're doing other stuff. But hello, how are you? I'm actually doing well. Thank you again for the $5 donation. How are you doing? That's it. You didn't want to ask like a more of a question, but yeah, I'm doing good. I'm actually pretty excited about some upcoming content that I had to actually delay because I was reworking the video. But other than that, I was supposed to build a PC on stream today. Let me show you all what I have next to me. I don't even know what this character is, but I was asked to build a PC, and this was the case that the person wanted. Who here knows what HoloLive is? Like, does anyone know what this character is? But let me show you what I have here on the side. I was like ready to go to start to build this system today, and then we find out that the AIO that we chose did not fit. Alright, so y'all know what this case is, right? The Hyte Y60, very popular case. This is a special edition HoloLive version, so I have the glass panels taken off. Here's that wedge panel, actually. So, yeah. So here is this wedge panel that actually goes on right here. But I have it taken apart with the RTX 4080 rather, sitting on top of it. This is how I think it's gonna go into the case. Look how big this card is. It is barely going to fit this case. Like, yeah, it's barely gonna fit. And if we vertically mount it, which is what I think my brother-in-law wants to do, look how little space that has to the glass. We're gonna have to look at the temperatures, but this might choke off a lot of airflow. So we'll see. But yeah. Hopefully next week all the parts are going to be in so that I can actually build it live on stream. But we have that going on as well as some other stuff over here. But yeah, so that's what's going on. I'm doing well. Lennon, again, thanks for the super chat. Dono. Shane Eslick says, you have to mount it fans showing in the Y60. Oh, I mean, you don't have to. You could mount it the normal way, but I don't think it... Usually it doesn't look as good. Let me look. I could have sworn most cases I've seen. Hyte Y60 build. Let's see how many builds. If we look at a quick Google image search... Vertically. Does anyone mount it not showing? I mean, it comes with the riser cable. Does it have to? That card is ugly. Well, so that card was chosen because it has a teal color scheme. And this also has a teal color scheme. So, yeah, it was between the Founders Edition, which was going in and out of stock a lot. It was that card or the PNY, which were like kind of the more affordable ones that didn't have a huge premium. But yeah. It has to be mounted vertically? Wait, seriously? So I was not aware of this. I just assumed that because it came with the riser cable. Let me take a look at this again. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I just noticed that. You're right. The PCI brackets are half length almost. So, oof, that's gonna be fun. Well, I guess we'll have to see what the temps are. The Lone Gunman just built in the case. In this with the white, you built in the white version. Okay, definitely love it because of the layout. Yeah, so I'm pretty excited because it's gonna be my first time building in it. And we'll see. Like, it is. So it is pretty well thought out. One of the things for me that I found annoying was taking off these extra panels. Because they're screwed on. I kind of wish they came up with a way to make it so that it was all like the kind of like the pop. I guess there's no examples here, but like the pop-in round pegs, so that everything just pops into place and locks without having to be screwed. Just because taking this apart, I was like, okay, I have to unscrew this. Then once this came off, then it exposed the screws for here. You can see the little screws, maybe. Yeah, you see the little screws going here. So it's just like a lot of extra small little things to screw in if you ever wanted to take it apart, which I don't know. I like quick remove, quick access design and not having to unscrew every little thing to take things off. Weeb, yes. My brother-in-law is definitely a weeb. Sup mixes, why is there not a lot of PC cases that you can take off the top to make it easier to build in? Just because it's cheaper and less, like in terms of like manufacturing flow, it is a lot easier to just rivet something together than to have. It's probably, if you don't, well, riveting is a lot quicker than having to individually screw something in. But also for like structural integrity purposes, not only if you were able to remove the top, like completely remove it, then you lose like one of the sides to a box, so that just makes it not as rigid, and yeah, so it wouldn't be as structurally strong, so then they have to reinforce everything else to be able to account for it. So there's a lot that goes into it that, to me, it makes sense why not every case, especially non-premium cases, you can't do that. But I guess as the cases get more expensive, it should become a thing that manufacturers incorporate into it. So Stitch Custom says, "Hey Danny, I've been watching since the LAN party days. Glad to see things are still going strong." Hey, thanks. And for sure, which LAN party days? Like the OG ones, like 2016 ones. But yeah, for sure. Thanks for the support. Lone Gunman says, "Yo, so that's how the panels removed. The instructions made it." Yeah. When I was removing these, the instructions, I swear, the instructions did not tell how to remove this wedge panel. I just kind of figured it out by looking at it, but it doesn't tell you like the order. Well, it tells you how to take out these two, and I guess after that you're supposed to figure out by looking in the little crevice that like you can remove these ones. But I don't know, like if you've built PCs before and you're comfortable with like taking stuff apart, then you'll be fine. But imagine a beginner trying to build something like this. I think they would have some trouble, because, you know, beginners typically are afraid of breaking stuff when taking anything apart. So, yeah. Frog Slayer says, "Isn't there some new case that can be totally taken apart and shipped flat?" Why does this sound familiar? But can anyone in the chat confirm or have the name of that case? I know there are some test bench. Let me see. PC test bench shipped flat. See if we can find this. There are some of these test bench style cases, which I have seen shipped in very thin, slender boxes or something like this. Actually, no, this one has folds in it, but there are cases where these panels are separated and you just screw them together and it can all fit within like a flat box to be shipped. But I mean, there's probably a handful of them that are able to do that. Thanks for the reminder, Kevin. Full of the water. Okay. So let's see. What else now? So that's just some channel updates. Yeah, I guess in terms of what to do next. So the main thing I wanted to do was to probe you on the Intel Arc cards. And then go from there. So I do have the Discord. Let me pull that up. Let's see. Discord window. Come on. Let me make sure it's the right one. But someone wanted to look at a PC part picker list, and I said we could do it because we do have time. So let me make sure we're looking at... Okay, so we're going to go over to the Discord real quick, which, by the way, does the Discord link in the description work? It should work. I just generated a new link today, but let me know if it doesn't. But in the Discord channel, you can submit stuff for me to pull up on stream, which we did have someone, Scooter U, asking if we could look at this PC part picker list. Also, we're going to go over some new submissions that people have put on the server. So we'll take a look. I like this build actually, so I want to take a look at this one. But yeah, we'll first do the PC part picker list. Sidereed says, where did you get those designs on the glass? I didn't get the design on the glass anywhere. It is a special edition Y60. So this is the case. This is the, I don't even know how to say this, Hakos Bales Y60. So yeah, the case comes with the design on the glass. If you're interested, here's the link for it. But I was actually surprised. I wonder if this peels off. So let me switch over to this real quick. But on this glass, this is just like a vinyl. Like it feels like I could peel this off. Like here's the back side, which is not double-sided. So it actually looks pretty bad. It looks like, you know how children like to put stickers all over like windows and stuff like that? That's what this looks like on the back side. Like, you know, when kids put stickers on windows and you see the backside with no design on it, it's just like a white surface. That's what these look like. So I don't know. I guess is it too much of me to expect for them to have the design on the inside too? Probably, because no one's gonna be looking at this from the inside. It just looks a little cheaper, I guess, because this is what this side looks like versus this nice colorful side. But anyways. Alright, Scooter U with their PC part picker list. And the main specs we do have going on right now is the i5-12400F with the Arc A750. This is a $1,300 build. This Canadian? This is Canadian. Can I take a look at this in non-Canadian prices? What is that gonna look like? So here's it. Oh, this is, dang it. Okay, we can't do that because it does not convert all the Canadian to USD. But what is this? CD to USD. We're looking at 1312. Okay, so we're looking at 990 bucks, about 990. Okay, so specs wise, we have a 12400F. Man, we do have a lot of custom priced things in here. Yeah, Benjamin, exactly. 280, was that 280 bucks for a bunch of stickers? I think it was more than 280. I mean, it is colored red themed, and there are some other small themes to the case too, but I don't know. I thought it was overly expensive. I mean, in terms of this build, I find it kind of odd. Okay, here's your thought. I'm gonna ask a question. Because I know for sure there are B660 boards that are cheap for Serpo. So I'm gonna ask community. So we have a Z690 Extreme Wi-Fi 6 board paired with a locked 12400F. I don't know. Unless it's the same price, which this doesn't look like the same price. This is 263 Canadian dollars. There are definitely much cheaper B660 boards that you could pair with this, which still have Wi-Fi and things like that. I typically don't like spending a premium on the motherboard unless you can like overclock with the K chip or something. But I'm curious what you all think in terms of pairing like something like a 12400F with the Z690. I'm not a fan of doing that. I typically don't do that unless I got a deal for the Z690 board for like as cheap as a B660 board, for example. But that's definitely not the case here. You can get cheaper boards than this. Depends on if you need the extra IO from Z over B and H. I'm willing to bet that a majority of people out there aren't gonna use extra IO. I mean, I'm sure there are some, right, that need the extra USB ports or PCIe slots and things like that. But I would say the majority of people, they're sticking a single graphics card in there. They're sticking in like a single M.2 drive, maybe two, and they're just gonna play video games with it. Yeah, sure, you're gonna sometimes have a content creator or some working professional that has like expansion cards that they need to put in and things like that. But for the most part, I don't think that's the case. I would say probably for like 90 to 95% of the users out there, they're not gonna have an actual need for the extra IO. But Syed, I don't know who you're talking to, Syed. Dude, your name? If you don't know my name, then I mean, I'm not just gonna say it. If you don't know my name, please watch any of my videos. I say my name all the time. But yeah, so I didn't just ask for just gaming. I should have just asked, how could I have phrased this question? I should have phrased it for the general user, right? Which definitely is not a working professional and not a streamer. Can get up to 4 M.2 slots on a 690 chipset as far as I know. I mean, ooh, here's the next question. No, that's gonna lead into the next question. So in terms of the votes, some people say it depends. So not many people are saying yes, but it's kind of split between no and depends. Which, yeah, it definitely depends on the use case. But now that we brought up how many M.2 slots a person might need, a B660 board is already gonna have 2 slots in it. So now I'm gonna end this poll. How much M.2 storage do you have in your system? This is it's really hard to ask it in this because 2 terabyte, 3 terabyte, then 4 terabyte or more. So this is just looking at the M.2 like NVMe drives, not anything else. I'm just curious what people have. For me, the answer is gonna be, I have to look at my system to remind myself. Me personally, I have 4 terabytes now. Maybe I need to update my PC config description if I haven't yet. But I have two 2 terabyte NVMe drives on my ITX Z690 board. I would be willing to bet that most people are gonna have anywhere between 1 to 2 terabytes. I didn't put anything less than 2 terabytes, so if you have less than 1 terabyte, just vote 1 terabyte, because that's becoming the norm now. 1 terabyte NVMe drives you can find now for like $50. It's so cheap. So I don't think that many people are gonna have that much more than it though. Yeah, Thrasher Escapes, you are definitely not a normal use case. You have 2 terabyte Gen 4s, 2 terabyte Gen 3, and a 4 terabyte Gen 3. Yeah, so you have a total of 2 times 2, 4, 6. Yeah, you have 10 terabytes of NVMe or M.2 storage, huh? That is like a super not unique use case. Craig Lilly has 3 2TB NVMe's in one system? Or in multiple systems, Craig? Oh, Craig Lilly. So, okay, you have 3 2TB drives in one system. What's the results looking like so far? 20? Wow, 1/5 of the votes so far. About 20% is 4TB or more. But then, let's see. We have almost 2/3 of the people in here around 1 to 2TB, with 1TB leading the charge. Which for gamers, especially on budgets, that's not too surprising. Get yourself a 1TB drive, and then everything else can be like SATA based, if you even need it. Shane, you have 2.5TB. What configuration is that? Do you have like a 500 gig boot drive, or like a 500 gig one as well as a 2TB one? That's a very interesting one. You can vote either way. I would probably vote closer to 2TB. Tavian says, I have 2 2TB NVMe drives and then a 1TB NVMe drive. Okay, so that's 5 total. Yeah, so NVMe, M.2 storage is getting so cheap that I wonder how many people. Oh, okay. So we're gonna ask a lot of poll questions tonight because each question leads on to the next. All right, I'm gonna end the poll in a little bit here. The votings, for the most part, are slowing down. Poop Lord, I do not have a single NVMe. If you don't have a single NVMe, do you at least have SSDs though? Like 2.5-inch SSDs? Alright, the votes are in, and the winner is 1 and 2 terabytes, taking about 2/3 of the votes. Now, the next question that's bouncing off of that, do you still have okay. Spinning drives now. Do you still have mechanical hard disk drives in your system? We're not talking about NASs. We're not talking about external hard drives. We're talking about spinning drives, whether it be 3.5-inch or 2.5-inch, in your tower. This is going to be very interesting to see because while I feel like, SSDs have come down in price over the years, there are some people who still like the cheap options of like 3, 4 terabyte, 6 terabyte hard disk drives connected directly to their PC. So, right now the votes are pretty close to 50-50. HH257 says, I never had an issue with games on my 7200 RPM HDD. Yeah, so running, I think actually, where did I see this? I think at this point in time, if you have a powerful enough system, let's say you have an RTX 4090 with like a 13900K or something, you might actually see a performance drop if you still have games running off of a spinning hard disk drive. But that's like an extreme case. The hard drive can limit your performance in that extreme of a case. But yeah, for the most part, hard disk drives, they still work. It's just the loading that's the issue. The load times for certain games will be a lot longer on that than just even a basic SATA SSD. KL130 says Windows will never touch a hard disk drive again, no matter what. Yeah, that's a pretty good. I mean, I would say in this day and age, this is starting to become a norm. The only time I put Windows on a hard disk drive is if I'm doing a super budget build where it came with the hard disk drive and I didn't have any budget to buy a SSD. Then yeah, we're putting Windows on it because, you know, the drive's in there and it was free, so. Or it was included in the cost. Why are HDD same price as SATA SSD? Wait, are they? I don't think they are. 1 terabyte, or even 2. Let's take a look at that. We're going off topic a little bit, but I don't know if there's. We'll get back to scooters. But we look at it like let's look at 2 terabyte. You can't. So when looking at hard disk drives, 1 terabyte is a bad like indicator of price to gigabytes, just because as you go up, the gigabytes per dollar goes in your favor. So let's look at like a 3 terabyte or 2 terabyte, because we're starting to see 2 terabyte SSDs go for what, like 80 to 90 bucks. 2 terabyte hard disk drives should be like 40 to 50 if I recall correctly. So if we look at the lowest price, 2 terabyte, come on, we got new, please. So new Toshiba 2 terabyte 3.5-inch drive goes for half the price of a, well, let's see what a 2 terabyte SATA drive SSD is. 2 terabyte SSD. Let's see what we got here. Lowest price, 2 terabytes SATA. Of course, new 2 terabytes and up. The cheapest 2 terabyte drive is $90. I know sometimes it gets a little cheaper, like 80, but we're looking at 90 versus 40. So still a big price difference. I mean, the SSD is definitely preferred, but it still is more expensive. Yeah, I think what Jason was getting at is if we look at 1 terabyte, that's where the bad value is. So 1 terabyte hard disk drives, like what, 40 bucks? That's a ripoff. So if we look at new, so a new 1 terabyte drive is 30 bucks, a hard disk drive, and a 1 terabyte SSD. The cheapest we're gonna see is gonna be, what's the cheapest one we're gonna get? See, now this is where the price difference is a lot smaller, right? We're looking at 30 versus 40 bucks. So if you're looking in the 1 terabyte range, please do not buy a hard disk drive. Spend the extra 10 bucks. I guarantee it'll be worth your while to get it, you know, a 2.5-inch SSD. This is like so much of a better deal. But again, as you start going up in capacity to 2 terabytes, 4 terabytes, that's where the hard disk drives makes its case for value. So yeah, 1 terabyte hard disk drive is such a ripoff. Please do not buy those. Go in the used market, if anything, and you can get them for like 15 to 20 bucks. Much better value, even if it's used. But yeah. For NVMe is not that far behind. The cheapest 1 terabyte NVMe is on Newegg anyways. Right now is 50 bucks. We have seen them go down to like 45 bucks before. So yeah, this is, I mean, Pretty crazy how cheap SSDs are getting. Lorenzo says 1 terabyte for 15 to 20 isn't even worth it. Yeah, honestly, it's not given how cheap SSDs are. But okay, back to Scooter use post. Scooter, are you in the chat? So Scooter is a person who is attempting to flip PCs, but I feel like they need more experience building and like deal hunting and pricing out computers before getting into it. I'm not definitely not trying to like gatekeep or to deter anyone from getting into building PCs and flipping them, but I think you should definitely get as much experience as you can, because if you don't, you might end up buying parts for not as good of deals or pairing weird things together and you don't sell your system, then you end up just losing money at the end of the day. Flipping PCs, you can't treat it as a hobby, but it also requires like some financial risk to it. So just wanted to put that out there. But looking at the rest of this build, the Canadian prices are kind of messing me up, but I can kind of see like nothing in this build looks inherently wrong. Yeah, case is fine. S Randy TTB with the $1 dono super chat without any message. Thanks for the super chat, but what has a longer life? What do you... Oh, are you talking about hard drives versus SSDs? What has a longer life? Honestly, I haven't looked into the stats for that. I wonder if we can see that. We'll do that after this. But Scooter, looking at your build, the only thing that really stuck out to me is this Z690 motherboard. But everything else looks like it's fine. Well, wait, what's up with this A750 at 342? Is that 250? Yeah, that is about 250 USD, so that's about right. So you're looking at, this was a $990 build, right? $990 for 12400F for A750. You do have a kind of beefy power supply in here, but that's fine, because after this conversion, it actually becomes what, like $70-ish, 70 to 80 USD, which is about right. So yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with this build. Yeah, you're asking which is gonna be better in the long run? Honestly, I've never had an SSD in any of my personal systems. Hey, thanks for joining the channel membership, Corn Gas. Okay, so we got some donations that just came in that I'm gonna try to read off as quick as possible. But S Randy TTB, yeah, in terms of longevity, I mean, let's look at the stats. What is it, Backblaze? Let's look at Backblaze. Let's see, drive health, hard drive stats. Do they have SSD stats? Drive counts, drive failures, drive days. Okay, SSD stats. Backblaze. Let me see if I can find it. SSD edition, mid-year review. Okay, 2021. We're gonna look at kind of some older drives. SSD failure rates, annual SSD failure rates for 2019, 2020, and 2021. Okay, and let's see if we can find HDD Backblaze stats 2021. Let's see if we can get the answer to this. All right, yeah, we have the hard drive stats as well. Failures. Okay. Which, by the way, I'm going to link both of these for anyone who's interested. And I'm going to put it in the video description, Backblaze, because I think this is pretty important to talk about. SSD health stats, HDD health stats. Okay, so this one's the SSD version. Because there's not that much information out there. You can look at like what the hard drive manufacturers give as like the mean time between failure, like the rating of it, but this is actual like data from Backblaze, who is like they're like a cloud business, so they have stats for all the drives that they have to like switch out and the ones that die and stuff like that. But okay, drive failures. So yeah, there's a lot of data here, but let me see if I can make anything of it in the short amount of time that we have. Okay, so there are some SSDs. What the heck? Why is this formatted so poorly? Here we go. Here we go. Nice and big for you guys to see. Like the Crucial 250MX. No. So this is like the... so 500 gigabyte. They only have 80 drives. Confidence interval, low and high. They had 2 failures, okay. Tofu Soup says, strangely, my one storage death was an SSD from Team Group failure. Crucial and Seagate drives have double-digit AFRs, require a lot more data before passing any judgment on reliabilities. AFR, that's the annual failure rate, I believe. Yep, annualized failure rate. Okay, so do we have that on the HDD side of things too? We do. So we look at all the hard disk drive annual failure rates. So everything here, let's see, what's the highest percentage? Because we have so many different models and brands here. Which, by the way, I think people have asked me in the past, which drives are more reliable and things like that. Well, this is probably one of the best sources that you can look at to see with actual like anecdotal data of which brand. I mean, how many drives do they have? Drive count. So we're talking about like thousands of drives for some of these. Some of them not so much, like this Toshiba one, only 97, but the other ones, they have like tens of thousands. So looking at the hard drives, the highest AFR is going to be what percent? 2% here, 2%, almost 5% for the Seagate 14 terabyte drive right here, but that's on a sample size of 1600 about, so nothing higher than 5%. Now, if we look back at the SSDs, the numbers are a lot higher. The Crucial one, there's not as many drives, there's 80, so we can call this like an outlier. Dell, the Seagate, man, they don't have that many brands of SSDs, unfortunately. They have Seagate, Micron, Dell, and then aren't Crucial drives Micron based? Anyways, these numbers are higher. Like the Seagate one, they only had 3 drives, so this is also going to be an outlier. From these two, if we look at the average age in months, none of these are... Thanks for the water reminder, Kevin. None of these drives are that old. The oldest one is 3 years old, but if we look at these, average age months. Look at these ones. SSD average age. The highest one is 36 right here. This 36 months, that's 3 years. If you look at hard drives, look at some of these average ages. 80 months, that's close to 7 years. Is there anything higher than that? Yeah, and these are averages too. Oh my, another dono. So yeah, SRAN TV, thank you for bringing this up because I think this is good too. But just from looking at this, I think with SSDs and hard drives, it's kind of hard to answer the question which lasts longer because the types of failures, right? Hard disk drives, they can start having problems, but they can start reallocating sectors and they can still work and all of that. when they have problems for a long time. Whereas SSDs, when you typically have failure, it is like a little bit more catastrophic. It just like stops working altogether. So in terms of which one lasts longer, just based on, I mean, I have to do way more research on all of this, but just quickly looking at the data here, it seems that hard disk drives definitely last longer. Drive days, average month, yeah. And with Backblaze, these drives are on like 24/7, right? They may not be reading and writing 24/7, but they are on 24/7. So yeah, there's just not enough SSD data out there from what I can see. Loftic says, I don't know why, but I was banned from your Discord randomly. I never ever sent a message in the Discord. Oh yeah, Loftix. It was because of the stuff that you were discussing with Christopher Koonin, who is also banned from the Discord. So yeah, that is why you're banned. So I don't know if I would appeal that, but just based on some of the stuff that was that I was told that you guys were discussing, so unless he could have been completely lying, but yeah, we can talk about it off stream. Yeah, I can DM you what happened on Discord. We can do that. Gavin, do you use Opera? No, I don't. I do not use Opera GX. I use Google Chrome and Firefox, and sometimes Edge. When those other two don't work for specific websites. But yeah. Okay. Super chat. Greetings from England, says Freddy. Thank you for the super chat. Sorry I got to it so late, but a lot of good discussion or a lot of good questions regarding SSDs and hard disk drives. Here's my take on it at the end of the day, though. I know some people still have like that one hard drive that they had from 10 years ago that's still working and stuff like that. But at the rate at which technology is progressing and prices are coming down and stuff like that, I have found it's even with hard drives, this was the case back in the day too. People will usually tend to upgrade their storage devices long before they reach the end of life. Like I remember when my first hard drive in the first system that I built, I'm pretty sure it was 250 gigabytes, which was kind of the norm at the time. Within a few years, 1 terabyte became the norm and became cheap enough where I replaced my main 250 gigabyte drive with a 1 terabyte one. And then from then, SSDs got cheap enough where I added in an SSD as my main boot drive and moved from the HDD. So we're getting to the point where, like, if you're on an SSD or a hard drive right now, or if you're in the market for one, it will likely outlast your, like, upgrade cycle, where the next time you're building a new PC, or next time you're considering a new drive, you're gonna completely replace it with something that's bigger and cheaper. That's not to say that you should ignore all the stats out there regarding drive health, but I don't think you should be too concerned about whether a hard drive or an SSD is going to last longer, at least for your primary boot drive. For storage, I mean, it's hard to say for like long-term storage, because these may not even be the solutions you should be looking at. You should probably be looking at cloud from a very reputable company, because I feel like they have more redundancy than your single drive that you plan on buying and putting into your system, if that makes sense. The guy 920 says, hey, I have stock in Backblaze. You only better talk good about them. I mean, Backblaze, Does anyone else know of another company that does this kind of reporting? It just I guess it's convenient for them that they run like a cloud service, so they have a ton of drives and servers and stuff like that, that they can also report on like this information. This is good stuff. Corn gas, yeah, I will check out the builds in Discord. So let me make sure I got at least all the super chats and stuff answered. Oh yeah, and here's a good point that someone else brought up. Hard drives, even though with the data we just looked at, hard drives may last longer on paper, but they're definitely very fragile. Like, you have to be worried about vibration, even the orientation that they're installed, just like, you know, blunt force damage. Whereas SSDs, and they require more power. Whereas SSDs are like lower power consumption, no moving parts, shock proof, all that stuff. So it's kind of a wash as to which one's more durable and would last longer. Freddie Hawkins also said, any opinions on the Asus RTX 3060? Which one? There are multiple Asus RTX 3060s. You're talking about like a Strix card or like a tough gaming? Because to me, and this is just my personal preference, and we can run a poll. So let me end this poll that we had. But the poll results were, do you still have a mechanical hard drive in your system? Not in the NAS, external, all that. More people do not have a hard disk drive in their system than they do, which is kind of cool to see. It's like the transition to phasing away from mechanical drives. But regarding this question, there is an opportunity for another poll. Hey, what's up, Zia? Hi, Maxwell. Hi, Cam, if you guys are watching. Hey, Andy, or whoever else is watching. But let me start a poll. And again, it's hard. It's hard to it's hard to ask the question given the limited character count. But what do you care most about when it comes to the graphics card? And for me, the question is, do you care that much about the graphics card model and brand, or is price more important? And when I say model, I'm talking about like for the same RTX 3060, for the brand it'll be Asus, but the model would be like the Asus Strix, versus like the cheapest version of that 3060. And honestly, I think if it's a 3060, for the most part, it performs like a 3060. I don't care if you're talking about like a low-end Gigabyte Gaming Eagle Edition. I don't ever think it's worth it to buy the Asus Strix version, which might have better factory clocks and might look a little bit better, but costs like $150 more. Like, I care about the price. If it is the cheapest 3060 out there, so long as it's not a piece of crap, I will likely go for that over the premium like MSI Gaming one or like the Asus Strix one, right? But I'm curious what you guys think, and so far the votes coming in, about 2/3 of the people care more about the price than the brand. And Freddie Hawkins is saying the Asus NVIDIA GTX 3060 Dual OC. Okay, so the Asus Dual OC is one of their more entry level cards that doesn't cost as much as like the Asus Strix. And that's a fine card. I've never used the 3060 Dual OC, but I've used the 3070 Dual OC, and the cooler was fine, the performance was fine. So yeah, I think I never understood, unless you are going for a certain aesthetic and you have plenty of money to pay for it, I'm usually okay with the entry level versions of cards. Yeah, exactly, Poop Lord. I love that name, Poop Lord. There are, like, an Asus Strix 3060 will cost as much as a lower end 3070. And in no world will that 3060 Strix card perform better than even the worst 3070. That's why I don't understand, unless you are operating at like the top tier of like price to, and or performance and like a 4090 and you have no more ways to spend your money. Why would you ever spend extra $100 to $150 for like a mid-range card like a 3060? Shane Eslick says, not price but value, because as you said, they're cheap crap. Honestly, like, there are not many companies that are just putting out like low quality crap for graphics cards. I know people don't like the Gigabyte Eagle cards, and they don't like the what's another popular card that people sometimes scrap on, like for the Power Color Fighter cards, for example. Even those ones, they're not that much worse than the Strix equivalent of it. Cammy Hudson says, Zotac flaming truck down a hill. Yeah, I mean, aesthetically, I already am not a huge fan of Zotac, but the customer service stories haven't been the best either. So, okay, let me go back to the Discord server, because I think some people were interested in seeing... Where is that at? Back to here. Okay. So there's no more stream submissions. Okay, so now we can look at build and setup stuff. We are already over an hour and a half in the stream. Dang, time is flying. So what do we have here? Since last week, I think we ended on Braythorn, or did we end on this one? Can I make? Oh, I can't make this bigger. But the cool thing is, now that I'm looking at this through not Discord, but on a browser, I can actually make these pictures bigger. We actually did not look at this one this last week. All right, token, okay, CMC, this build with the MX330G. Yes, that, what? Okay, so 5600X build with the 2070 Super. 16 gigs of RAM. 750 watt PSU, keyboard, okay. How come, why, I wish these pictures were a little bit bigger. So actually, I really like the Wraith. Which version of the Wraith was this? The highest end Wraith cooler with like the LED lights and stuff. Interesting that they have it on a 5600X though, because these were usually included with the Ryzen 7s and 9s of like the older gen stuff. Oh yeah, Prism, that's what it's called. Thank you. Yeah, the Wraith Prism. I actually like these coolers. They aren't like the best performing, but you know, they work good enough if you're not overclocking. And it just, because I feel like it's kind of like AMD actually put effort when they released the Ryzen CPUs into redesigning the cooler, whereas Intel, even with the like newest coolers, it doesn't look too different from what they've been using for the last however many years. Whereas AMD made like a drastic shift from the old. Let me see if I have any on hand. Where are those blocky coolers at? I couldn't find the AMD ones, but you guys know what I'm talking about, right? I was able to find two Wraith coolers, the Wraith Stealth and the Prism ones. And yeah, if you look at these, they are so different from AMD stock cooler. From I love how these are coming up now, but they're so different from these things. Remember these? Like, it's a huge difference. So, yeah. But to get back on topic, let's see, next picture. All right, got the 2070 Super there. Here's their setup with like a galaxy in the background, matching with the purple theme and everything. And okay, thanks for, they're probably not in chat right now, or they were never in chat and they're just a member of the server posting their build. But yeah, those coolers, the AM3 motherboards and that era, right, of parts. So yeah, doesn't Intel just seem so lazy the way that they designed the latest coolers? It's not even that different. They added some plastic to it and it's still the same push pin design. And yeah, let's see, here's CXly. I don't even know what to say. So this is a 13900K 4090 system that we can pull up here, and I can zoom in more being on browser. Very interesting color scheme here. Could be after like the Italian or Mexican flag, or I'm trying to think what color scheme. Did they give any details in the post? No details, but very, I mean, we're talking about 4090 here with the 1390K. Yeah, super solid. What I am surprised about is there's only 2 sticks of memory, given how high-end all the specs were. And I mean, I think this is supposed to be like an aesthetic piece, right? With the unifans and everything. I am a little surprised that there's only 2 memory modules and not all 4, but not a huge deal. And they have one of these rock salt lamps. One of my roommates had one of these. This can actually look pretty cool with RGB. Alright, this next build I actually really wanted to look at because look at this awesome case. So what do we have here? Recently upgraded my old parents' computer. Original specs were an i7 4790, GTX 750 Ti, and 16GB of DDR3. This is really cool because the Haswell processors and like the 750 Ti and stuff, those were so relevant when I first started my YouTube channel, and those were what people were using in a lot of build guides, as well as you know, for the lower end parts, using them in like budget builds. So that era of parts were very memorable for me. But they upgraded it with a Ryzen 5 5500, an RX 570 ITX, an MSI Nightblade ITX case, which I really like because it looks like it has a handle and some feet, as well as the A520i AC Wi-Fi motherboard, 16 gigs RAM, all that good stuff, and a 600 watt power supply. Look at this thing. This case is awesome because it's tiny, and I'm not gonna. I wonder if that does double as a handle. It looks like it could be strong enough to be a handle, but it might not be. Has anyone used this case before, and can you confirm? But yeah, very cool looking build. A little bit dusty from the pictures, but and then here's their setup. But yeah, very nice small build. Do I want to split a playhouse? Yeah, it has to be in Washington though, because I'm not coming down to Texas. So every time I want to play Halo. Yeah, so I thought this was a pretty cool submission. Very unique looking, not something that we typically see in the Discord server. So, all right, we got D-Man 6D9. Wait, 6D6 rather. All right, we got a Ryzen 7 2700X system. Other key specs is 16 gigabytes of RAM, GTX 1060. So this is like going back to 2017-ish vibes. Okay. Wow, this case, just look at the pictures, I would not have guessed the specs for that. I would say that the build looks like it would be higher spec than what it is. So we're looking at 2700X, GTX 1060, custom painted build. So here it is. Yeah, it's because it's got this, what is this, the Corsair 5000D. It's the bigger version. But, let's take a look at some of these other side pics with the RGB in it. Here's a side picture with the white. That's custom painted. That's actually a really, I think that's a good paint job. Yeah, this paint job looks pretty clean. The fans aren't painted, so that kind of stands out, as well as the black components. But here's all the parts. Again, a Wraith Prism cooler. Here it is in red. And another picture with with little figurine of a hockey player in there. Okay. So we got Trailer Trash Tammy, posted 10 minutes ago. Very interesting name. We've got an RX 570 graphics card, a Ryzen 5 5500, Cooler Master i30 cooler. Oh man, we have a sideways picture coming up. 16 gigabytes of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD, 1 terabyte hard drive. Okay, so it's mainly our Ryzen 5500 with the RX 570. We have a sideways picture here. I don't think I can rotate it. I cannot rotate it. So we're looking at a sideways setup here. Okay. We do have a PC. We do have a PC on a dresser setup. I'm very curious about these PC on dresser setups because there's no room for your feet. Like, normally your feet go under the desk so you can be closer to it. But here, like, your knees and stuff would be bumping up against the dresser, wouldn't it? So I'm always curious how people get this to work. Especially since this is a full setup. I mean, look. We've got, you know, like the... Oh, wow. We got the mic arm into the dresser drawer, which is why it can't close all the way. Because, man, this is like... prime budget setup right here. Don't even just use what you have. Don't even use like a separate desk. Just use your dresser. It exists. It can work as a desk. Yeah, unless this is like a standing setup. If they're standing while in front of this, so. Oh, gnomed. Alright, gnomed. Here's the pre-dono picture. Where is it at? So, here's what this, the membership list is looking like this so far. I pulled this like 1 hour before the stream. This is the most updated list. Why do I have a reason? Why do I think that the reason you're asking is because you might hit us with a bunch of notifications in a second, but, oh, corn gas. This is your setup. So yeah, gnomed, here is the thing. Let me go back to the other one real quick though. But this is crisscross's, or corn gas. You have to say crisscross applesauce, or the not politically correct term from way back in the day. Remember they used to call it Indian style? Sitting Indian style. But yes, crisscross applesauce. The more politically correct way of saying it. And yeah, you should consider a desk. Okay. Alright, I think Gnomed is about to do a big donation, or some donations of memberships. So, Gnomed is telling y'all how to join, and the top right 3 dots enable gifting for your account, so that, I mean, I would hope that YouTube system targets people who are live watching a stream to like push the gifted donos to first. But yeah, if y'all want to receive potentially a free gifted membership from Gnomed, definitely go enable the gifts for your YouTube account. It's not going to charge you anything. Once the membership runs out, it's not gonna charge you money or any of that. So yeah. Yeah, it's at random. Yeah. Does it work on mobile? I'm not sure. Yeah, corn gas. Your setup did give me a laugh. Yeah, and well, the fact that you submitted it sideways also gives me a laugh. But here's your build, which looks like, okay, is what I'm seeing correct? I think you need to put some Windex on your side transparent glass or acrylic. What case is this again? You've got, what's the case? You didn't put the case here. I guess we can see from here. What is that? Yeah, that's probably a tempered glass. So yeah, you need to clean up your glass. Oh, it's a cyber power. Okay. Yeah. Bruce Ghostlaw with their post. Currently deciding. Okay, Bruce, this isn't the place to put this. How many? Oh, we just got 50 gifted memberships from Gnomed. And it's gonna send the alerts. So this list is gonna grow. Thank you, Gnomed. Appreciate it. Let's let the chat do its thing, because Stream Elements is going crazy. Maybe I should remove the Stream Elements. Yeah, I think I should remove the Stream Elements notification because YouTube already does it. So let me do that real quick. Stream Elements. And it seems like a lot of people in here are getting it, so that's cool to see. Be sure to thank Gnomed, everybody, for all the gifted membership donos. Okay, let me get the chat box up real quick so we can see the craziness that's going on. Plus, let me... Okay, here we go. Members. So I'm gonna take members off. As well as subscribers. Okay. That should be good. Yeah, because we see it on the YouTube side. All hail Gnomed. The ultra dono. Shane Eslick, you got a gifted membership as well. Eduardo with the 3 months message for being the best as always. Hey Eduardo, thank you for the constant water drink reminders. Yeah, like half the people in this chat are members now, I'm pretty sure. R-Flat, Gnome just went on. Oh my, what the heck? Okay, wait. Gnome, I just saw it. Gnome did another 50. We'll let these play out for a little bit. Yeah, now, I thought it was only 50, but Gnome did another 50 for a total of 100. And we have 130 people viewing right now, so most people are probably members by this point. Sheesh! Corn Gas says, I've upgraded my setup a lot. If I showed it maybe 2 years ago, you would have died. Do you have pictures from 2 years ago? You should submit that too. Hey, what's up, Shauner? How you doing? Any updates on your build, Shauner, by chance? I know those cable mods aren't coming forever, but any updates since last week? You have made 0 progress. All good. Hey, if you have a working system, that's more than a lot of people actually. So, what was the biggest holdup, Shauner, for your system? I forget. Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, Jason, you are getting pretty close, huh? Let's take a look. Okay, so we're gonna transition to this browser, and then I'm gonna put the Spitfire alerts off for a little bit, but we're gonna see. Oops, we're gonna see if Okay, we're gonna see if that's gonna be running still by the end of stream. Uh-oh, it's doing that thing again. No! Yep, the notifications. It must be a stream elements bug, because I totally disabled the module. Okay, I think we should be good now. How is it still playing? There we go. I think we're good now. Yeah, so many alerts. Hey, what's up, Spider? Which, by the way, if y'all haven't subbed to Jason yet, let's push him over 1,000 if we can. Jason, I mean, I feel like, oh, that's not the right Jason. Hey, come on now. There he is. Mod Jason is at 933 subscribers right now. I am subbed, by the way. This is an incognito mode, so I'm not signed in. But I've already subbed. If we push Jason to over 1,000, he's gonna owe me... Jason, what would you owe me if we can get you to over 1,000? But on the real, though, definitely check out Jason's stuff. He actually makes really good videos for being like... He's a really small channel, but he makes quality content. So check him out, subscribe. Let's see if we can push him up closer to 1,000. Okay, he says he'll cream in his jeans, or he'll cream his jeans for me. I don't know if I want that, but maybe we could work out something else. Yeah, so Hassan watched his latest video, was really informative. Yeah, so Jason's video, I mean, Jason is of the same mindset of me, or we are of the same mindset, right? So his latest video is, do not buy a new graphics card until you watch this. And he's talking about the new versus the used market. Very informative. Give it a watch. But yeah, I mean, a lot of his stuff is like budget content. He does have Stream Deck stuff, as well as like $400 builds down here, cheap games. So yeah, definitely check him out. But all right, I'm gonna refresh. 933. We got you 9 subs just in like that couple of minutes, so we're getting you closer to 1,000. Okay, back to the Discord though. Bruce, this is not what this channel is for. The build and setup showcase is for when you finally built your PC or your setup and you want to submit like this, a gallery of pictures essentially. What you posted was a PC part picker list that you have not bought or built yet. So this should go into the either parts and build advice channel or tech talk or price discussion, but definitely not a build setup. So wait, where did it go? Did someone remove it? Huh, looks like I did not have to remove it because either you deleted it or a mod deleted it. But, okay. Sleeper PC from Barrio. We're gonna keep Jason's thing there and see if we can, Wow. Talk about Sleeper PC. What is this case? This looks like an interest. Oh my goodness. Okay. This is very cool. It's like a... It says Motorola on it. Let me zoom in so you can see. Yeah, so it says Motorola right there. Is this like an old school? I mean, I would guess it's a radio, but I'm not sure exactly what this thing is. I mean, this definitely predates me, whatever year this thing was relevant. And then you got a Dynex monitor. Yo, I have not... Does Best Buy still sell Dynex? Dynex was like Best Buy's in-house brand. I have not heard of the brand Dynex for a really long time, though. Oh, okay, it's an old AM, FM radio record player. Okay, got it. But this looks like it might be like a 19-inch monitor, maybe. But wow. Oh, Monday, January 30th. That was taken only like 2 days ago. But yeah, here's the build built inside of there. So I can't tell, was this dust from this build accumulated before the parts were put in there, or is it afterwards? Yo, because we got a lot of dust going on here. That is a lot of dust. Dynex is still at Best Buy? Okay. I don't look at TVs that often anymore, and when I do, it's usually like TCL or maybe some of the major brands, but I've not seen Dynex for a long time. But yeah, this what are the specs of this build? Oh, not my main PC. So this is Barrio's like secondary PC. It sounds like GTX 1660, Ryzen 5 3600, 256GB NVMe, and you're hoping to upgrade soon, but this is not their main PC. I would hope not. Airflow seems to be an issue. Yes, airflow seems like it would be an issue even with this. I mean, this definitely looks like there's not much air could pass through anyways when it's closed. But yeah, but I mean, it is very cool looking though. Thank you for the submission. Vizio, I don't remember Vizio's Walmart. Isn't Vizio in Best Buy? Yeah, Best Buy, you can buy Vizio. So that's why I wouldn't think it's the Walmart house brand, because it would be weird for our Walmart house brand to sell here. It might be a parent company to it though, or something. You know. A bunch of these companies are all under one like big umbrella company. But yeah, I was not aware of that for Vizio at all. Okay, next submission is the last one we have, Donut, with the O11 dynamic build. We got a Ryzen 9 3900X, RTX 3080, 64GB of 4000 mega transfer per second RAM, B550F Wi-Fi board, some Lian Li 120. We got some SL120 fans and some Unifans. It looks like, right? Let's take a look at this build. Very blue. Huh. This is interesting. So they do have a custom loop in here with the radiator set up on top and the distro plate, but it is not in the GPU is not incorporated into the loop. What we do have though is an additional fan pulling down into the graphics card at this point right here. So we do have an initial fan pulling here. This is an interesting setup from what I can see anyways. There's no like bracing on the back here, so it looks like the airflow direction is going downwards, but you're also having air pulled up from the bottom of the case as well as from the graphics card. It's going to be pulling, so this fan seems to be kind of like almost colliding airflow wise with the GPU fans. But is this person in the chat right now? Donut, are you in here? Oh, Lord Donut. It helps. Oh, interesting. Okay. It does help. Interesting. How many degrees? If you were to leave it like fixed on, let's say, a whatever video game or even Furmark, and you take the fan off versus putting it on there, what degree difference did you see? One lad says, "Hey, Nope, I'll have to go back and watch the whole VOD. Had to get your car sorted. Big, sad, expensive. Hope you have a good time." Hey, hopefully you get that sorted out. And thanks for watching whatever you could. I appreciate it. Kevin NFT watching on the Athlon 200 GE. The 200 GE, that has integrated graphics, right? If I recall correctly. Hey, what's up, Drucifer? Drew is one of the Texas Texas Land Crew people. Yeah, so the backplate is cut out there. I guess the backplate, it is cut out there, but isn't there a fan on directly on this side pulling in? Did you say how many degrees it helped at all, or did you test it at all? What is the best Lunchable? Asked Jason. We're gonna answer the Lunchable. Lord Donut says putting this fan on here 5 to 8 degrees. Yo, anybody with graphics card overheating problems, which I feel like I've talked about this in the previous streams. I've never had a graphics card that was like, you know, properly thermal pasted with proper working fans. I've never really had temperature issues with a graphics card. CPUs tend to run hotter from what I've seen. Graphics cards, they are very efficient with the huge heat sinks that they have on there. But if you do have issues with heat, heat on your graphics cards or temperatures, maybe try something like this. This is an interesting solution. Thanks for the submission though. Okay. So we're done with the Discord side of things. We are 2 hours over stream. What else did I want to do? Actually, I did want to check to see if the Spitfire notifications, they are still on. I gotta turn up the volume. They're still going. Which, by the way, thanks again, Gnomed. Appreciate it. Let me go back to the other browser, Spitfire. So we're gonna take a look at Jason's channel now. We hit 942. We got 948. Wait, did the numbers go down? I could have sworn someone said 957. All right. Oh man, I'm starving. I ate not too long before stream, but for some reason I'm really hungry. I think I'm having leftover Domino's pizza tonight. Every time we go to Domino's, we did carry out too. But you know, they have those deals. You gotta buy like 2 or 3 pizzas for like $7 a piece or whatever. 2 toppings. So we always buy at least like 3 pizzas and then have it for like 2 weeks. But I have Domino's in the fridge that I'm looking forward to eating. But the question that Jason asked, the very important question, best Lunchables. Turning off the Spitfire for a second. What is the best Lunchables? Popular Lunchables ranked. Interesting. First of all, do you all have a favorite Lunchable? Oh my goodness, chicken pizza. Can I go on the record and just say that any pizza Lunchable is the worst? One of the worst. Actually, I don't even know of all the different Lunchables there are. But let's see, we got chicken pizza. The pizza is not even real dough. It's like a soft cracker. And then you got cold, uncooked cheese and marinara sauce on it. Ugh. Ugh, no. Okay, then we got the turkey and cheddar with crackers. This is one of the classics. I would rank this really high. How it made it only to number 20 on a list of, or 19 on a list of 20, I don't understand. But the turkey cheddar, ham cheddar, those are all good. Bologna, no. No bologna Lunchables. Have at least a little bit of dignity and get turkey or ham. Okay, Lunchables mini hot dogs. I've never had this. I can just tell though. Who wants because you know how Lunchables, they come out of the fridge, usually don't have a way of toasting them. So we're talking about eating cold or room temperature hot dog and bun. Not grilled, no. Hot dogs, also bottom tier. You are allowed to warm them? You telling me microwaved cheese and marinara sauce? Pizzas aren't meant to be microwaved, they're meant to be baked. Same with hot dogs. Hot dogs are not meant to be microwaved. They're meant to be grilled, or at least pan fried. What else we got here? Ooh, I've never had this, but this one looks really good. Lunchables pepperoni and mozzarella with crackers. Okay. This is like a million times better than pizza because it's not trying to be pizza. It's trying to be more of like charcuterie board, you know? So yeah, this actually looks good. I've never seen these, or if I have, well, here's the thing. I don't shop for Lunchables, so yeah, I don't shop for Lunchables, so I've never heard of this. But I would now if it's priced right, you know? Imagine working in an office and pulling out a Lunchables in the break room. I'm trying to think if I've ever brought a Lunchables to work. I might have, actually. Okay, next, moving on. 6-inch turkey and... Yo, 6-inch? We're talking like Subway size sandwiches now. The only thing about this is it's weird to have a sub sandwich with 0 vegetables on it. Look at this. We're talking about bread, cheese, and meat. When it's crackers, it's fine. As soon as you start putting hoagie bread in there, you need at least lettuce or something. What else we have here? Ham and cheddar cracker stackers. Okay, that's fine. And got these little vanilla cookie things. That looks fine. Cookie dunks. This is just like Dunkaroos. Nothing special here. If people who don't know what Dunkaroos are, they kind of phased out, and I think they're back. I think Dunkaroos came back for a time being, but it's basically dipping graham crackers in frosting. Okay, we got some more subs. Subs don't look good at all. Chicken dunks. So we got some Dino Nugget equivalents. Okay, interesting. S'mores dippers. This looks fine. Nachos. I actually like the nachos because you can't mess it up. Like, nachos can be eaten at room temperature with cheese and salsa dip. If anything, cold cheese and salsa is a normal thing, so. Yeah, the chips and salsa is pretty close to buying your own chips and salsa, like from the store from reputable, like, brands. We're talking about reputable brands versus Lunchables now, but yeah, the chips and salsa is pretty close to the real thing, so that's why I think it's my top tier. We got some more. A lot of these sub sandwiches, which look kind of not good, are making their way up on this list. Some dirty cake gummy worms and chocolate dip. Okay. We got some ham and cheese with the Capri Sun with cookies. Okay, this is kind of like the standard. Lunchable pizza with pepperoni. How is this number 6? This is so bad. Maybe I need to buy another one of these and eat it on stream one of these days. But Lunchables pizza, the last time I've had it, it's got to be like, what? Maybe middle school, so like easily like 20 years ago. Yeah, anything that's like the charcuterie board is fine. Shane Eslick says, nope, can't have gummy worms. Are red. No red food coloring. Okay. Just go homemade. Nachos are not the same. I'm not saying they're the same, but compared to all these other stuff that we're seeing, like the pizza, nachos is closer to the real thing than this pizza stuff is to real pizza. You know what I'm saying? Isaac Hep says, I just dumped my Lunchables into a blender. Okay, we got the are you kidding me? Chicken kebabs? Chicken kebabs. Lunchables. Why are you doing so much? You don't need this. The charcuterie board stuff and the nachos were a-okay. You know Lunchables has hamburger? Oh my god, we got a deep dish pizza. Lunchables uploaded. This is like the premium brand Lunchables right here. We got 13 grams of protein in this. Okay, the pizza. Why do they make it look like it's actually baked? But dang, it comes with some Cheez-Its, single Kool-Aid thingy, and some fruit roll-up. It's like a premium box here. Yeah, dang, this is nice. We got Lunchable ham and Swiss crackers. Haven't we seen this before? We've already seen this ham and cheese thing. Maybe it's because it's Swiss cheese and not cheddar cheese. Then we got some more. Okay, bologna, bro. Okay, bologna. We're running a poll. It's gonna be. We got to end the last poll, which most people said they care more about price than brand on graphics cards. Bologna, yes or no? Simple one-word question, simple one-word response. Bologna, yay or nay? I'm gonna have to go a hard no for bologna. What is light bologna? I did not know bologna had a light. Waffle sandwiches? I've not. Well, I've seen waffle chicken sandwiches. Kind of like the whole chicken and waffles thing. So I've seen that. But if you're talking about something else, then I don't know. Who doesn't like bologna? Wow. More people are... Okay, more people are saying no, which is what I expected. Fried bologna is delightful. But wouldn't you rather have, like, fried any other meats that's not bologna? You have Devon? What is Devon? Oh, did I spell it wrong on the poll? Whoops, my bad if I did. Oh yeah, I meant to spell it with an O, my bad. See, I don't eat or care about bologna so much that I just misspelled it. You charcuterie people are too good for bologna? Yeah. If they made Spam Lunchables, hey, what's up, bro? Yeah, we're talking about some random stuff here. Yo, okay. The next question I was gonna ask in the poll was Spam versus bologna, cause I'm a Spam dude myself. To me, Spam, even though it's kind of like mystery meat, it is top tier mystery meat. Yo, but Spam Lunchables would only be good if you could fry it, because I do not like Spam not fried. Fried Spam though, Okay, let's look at the number one Lunchable. Pizza. Oh my god. I didn't think this was a real thing. The pizza chocolate Lunchable. I thought you were memeing. Are you kidding me? The Lunchables chocolate pizza is a real thing? Why? I guess it's not that bad because it's just like brownie spread with cosmic sprinkle and a piece of flatbread, and it's separated from the savory pizza. Like, it's not the same thing, but I can't believe this is a real thing, and I can't believe it made this Mashed.com #1 best Lunchable. The chocolate pizza, I cannot believe it. Bologna tastes like Spam, but does Spam taste like bologna? That's a good question. The reason why Spam is better than bologna is because of this single dish right here. Spam, eggs, and rice. One of the staples of me growing up. Look at this. You're gonna tell me bologna is better than dishes like this that can be made? No way. No way, man. Fried egg, Spam, and rice. You can't beat it for a budget meal with high in sodium. And Spam Musubi, exactly. Like, come on. Bologna can't even touch Spam in terms of mystery meats, right? Like, what is the nicest thing you can make with bologna compared to These. Oh, when you put egg in it too. Now I want some Spam for dinner, which we do have some. We have hot and spicy Spam ready to go. I might make that. Spam and poke, yeah. So all right, we're gonna. So Bologna, ending the poll. Wow. People edged it out with yes. There are more people for Bologna than against it. So okay, I guess I am part of the minority here. Chinese sausage with rice, that's pretty good too, to be honest. Yeah. I don't think we have any Chinese sausage ready to go though. We might have some frozen, but that with eggs is also good. So alright, we're ending this poll. Now the real question. Final poll, final thing before I go eat dinner. And I'm gonna spell bologna the right way. And guys, do not let me down with this, okay? Spam or bologna? You can only choose one. Which one do you like more? Oh my goodness. Bologna's winning out of the bat. Or out of the gate. Spam and bologna at the next LAN? We did do spam at the last LAN. I think I might have cut it from the video though. When Jan and Meg came over early, they hadn't eaten yet and I hadn't eaten. So before we went to Costco, we made ourselves some spam, eggs, and rice. I think it was in the video. I didn't show the cooking of it, probably. But yeah. Come on. Spam's barely winning. It's 52 to 47% right now. Gavin Vibe says, I have never had spam. If you have it, definitely have fried spam. Usually Hawaiian places will have spam. Try it out from a Hawaiian place. You can't really go wrong there. Yeah, spam is for email, says Craig Lilly. Make a... Ew, spam and pineapple upside down cake? Is that a thing? Oh my goodness, it is a real thing. I'm not a huge fan of pineapple. Okay, this is interesting. I've never heard of this. Just having that mix of sweet and savory though, I'm not sure if I'm a fan. Yeah, I'm a fan of spam. I'm not a fan of spam and fruit. Ah, this is a thing. Very interesting. Maybe I just gotta try it. Alright. Let me turn back on the Spitfire alerts. Are they still going? I think they might be. Oh no, I think they ended actually. Okay. So I'm just gonna chill and hang out with the chat for the last few minutes of stream. Yeah, we did talk about quite a bit today. Went all over the place, ended with Lunchables and spam, but can't complain there. These are some things that I enjoy talking about off topic. Pineapple does not go on pizza for me, unfortunately, but I know it's a thing. People love it. You do you. Spam goes with everything and it never expires. Exactly. Get yourself a ton of spam and be ready for the next pandemic, okay? Preview to upcoming videos. Yeah, so Eduardo, next upcoming video does have to do with the Intel Celeron processor. I've done all my testing. I just need to wrap up like the actual video. And then after that, it's a Micro Center build. And then the LAN party video from the Texas LAN party get together. That is also on the back burner. As with all LAN party videos, takes me forever to get out. Yes, Gavin, the Celeron, $25 Celeron on Amazon. That is the next video. I paired it with an RTX 3080 just to show how bad it is. I gave it the best scenario possible. I gave it RTX 3080. I gave it like 4,000 mega transfer per second RAM, like 32 gigabytes of it actually, and yeah, we'll see how bad it is. Oh, did David do that as well? The reason that I did it was because someone tried to tell me that it was a good processor, better than the i7 6700. So I'm gonna show the side by sides of it of how bad it is. Yeah, I've never had anchovy on pizza. I don't think I would be a fan of it. Sylvester Lobo says, "Are you excited for the new series chipsets from AMD?" Wait, you said new chipsets, or are you talking about the X3D 7000 series processors? Did they announce new chipsets? Okay, maybe not new chipset, but new platform rather. Which chipsets are we talking about here? Yeah, they announced the new 3D lines, but I think they're talking about Sylvester's talking about the motherboards, right? The new 3D lines are gonna be pretty expensive. The cheapest one was like 500 bucks. The A620. Japoye. Ew, who's choosing Bologna over Spam? Let's look. What was the pricing of those again? It was a 7800 X3D. So those ones are going for. Where's the pricing of that? Is it right here? Available on. Nope, that's not it. Where's the X3D? Here we go. 450 is the cheapest one. 450, and then it goes up to 600. And then what's the last price? What the heck? Is the last price not on here? They don't have a price for the 7950? But yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a good use case for these, but that's definitely out of the typical budget that I usually have for a CPU. In terms, yeah, so if it's, we're talking about the A620 chipset, what is the pricing supposed to be for that? $125? Okay. Last thing, I was supposed to go, but people asked really good questions at the end here. A620 chipset, supposed to be $125. What's the cheapest B5? Let's see. B650 boards. The cheapest B650s are looking to be around 160 to 170. I mean, I'm not really excited about A620s being over $100. I still feel like this is kind of expensive, given that pretty much almost every Ryzen processor can be overclocked. Plus, like, usually these are very limited, right? I guess we would have to look at the specific boards, but A520, A320s, all those boards usually are very bare. So maybe, I don't know, unless they change something up, we have to take a look at it, but 125 still just seems really expensive for how entry level these are. But alright, that's gonna wrap it up for this stream, I think. Want to give a huge thanks to Gnomed again for all those gifted memberships. So the messages are still here at the top because he donates so much. So thanks for that. Yeah, so next videos are going to be the Micro Center, or no, not the Micro Center, the Celeron build before the Micro Center build, and then plenty of stuff after that that I need to get to, like the LAN party. But yeah, so definitely expect a video. I was supposed to have this video out last weekend, but I rearranged it, just because the channel has been doing really good lately. So I'm very careful about how I make my videos, to make sure I don't get kicked out of the algorithm or whatever. So I want every video to have like the best potential to keep the momentum going. But yeah, everybody, hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday, or I guess some places in the world Thursday. Have a great weekend coming up, and I will see you in the next stream as well as in the comments of the next video. Take care, but yeah, until next time, bye bye.